Well, hey there, Bucket Pond family. Welcome back. Today we're going to build a planted 1-gallon nano aquarium, and my goal is to raise aquatic worms. These worms in particular. These guys are really cool. They get pretty large, and I want to raise more of them to help consume detritus in my aquariums and to feed my fish. So, we're going to turn the light on today. And we're going to start with the substrate layer, of course. This time I am going to use marble chunks, but I have a different idea for how I want to set this tank up. I've noticed in the past that when I put Fluval Stratum down on the very bottom of the tank, that we end up with certain areas that have no water flow, dead areas that grow bacteria and algae and all sorts of horrible things. So I've made a little bowl out of the marble chunks. I've added a piece of the screen mesh that we use here on the channel, and now I'm filling that bowl with Fluval Stratum. This is an aqua soil, and I'm kind of doing a reverse Wallstad method. My goal is to keep water moving down in the substrate to prevent any like zero flow areas. But I do want to have that Fluval Stratum in here because I've seen our darrow worms go crazy for that stuff. So I'm hoping the larger earthworms will respond in a similar way. And we're going to add our water now. With this stratum, you want to be really careful. And if you dump your water in there too quickly, you are going to make a mess, and this stuff is going to turn the water very, very cloudy. So I'm using this little lid to kind of catch the water and to break up some of the momentum from being poured in the tank, and I'm doing a horrible job of that. So this is a good example of what happens if you just dump water in there on top of that fluval stratum. It will release a bunch of clouds and make a big mess. So I have created an elixir of sorts. We'll worry about that later. We're going to use a simple wooden lid for this build. I drilled a hole in it, and now we're going to add one of our little magnetic stickers here. And our light will snap right onto that sticker. It's perfect. I'm just running the cord through the little hole I drilled. Very simple. These lights come with little metallic stickers, and that's how they function. So we have a lid, a light, substrate, and a very messy water column. So, what are we going to do about it? Can we fix this tank, or do we start over? Well, I hate to restart, so we're going to do a water change. And I'm actually going to attach an air hose to this tank as well. All of my best aquariums have been 1 gallon, and they all have an excuse me, they all have had an air pump. So I think airlines are very important for the type of aquariums that I build. I'm going to use a little hot glue here just to seal up the hole in the lid, just so no insects can fly into this tank. And there we go. We have a cloudy, somewhat interesting aquarium. My idea of capturing the fluval stratum in that bowl seems to be effective. We'll have to wait and see if the worms will be interested in that or not. I am going to add some plants in here. We're going to take some hornwort from the 1-quart aquarium that you guys have seen a few times. It's growing tons of hornwort very easily. And I'm just going to take a small amount, just kind of throw it in the tank. Now, I would like to avoid any planted plants down in the substrate because I do want to raise large aquatic earthworms in here. And I want to see them, and I want to be able to, scoop some out with my pipette. So ideally, we would have nothing on that substrate, just the plants floating up above it. We'll wait and see how that goes. So now I'm going to inject mulm into this tank. This is mulm from the wild aquarium where those worms currently reside. And here they are now. I should mention that I have two wild aquariums that I built recently as part of the Sundays with Bucket Ponds series, and you might enjoy checking those out. But these worms are coming from one of those wild tanks, specifically the one that I built from material collected from that ditch, which you may remember. In that video, someone in the comments was talking about the legal aspects of collecting a plant from a roadside ditch, and we had a fun conversation about that. So, yeah. But I'm injecting material into the substrate. My goal is to seed these worms down into the stone. I'm also injecting mulm from a few other aquariums as well. There's one of those worms now. And yeah, I just want to get them started in here. My goal is to raise them intentionally. I have collected these large aquatic earthworms a few times from different locations. And we have managed to keep them alive and get them to reproduce a little bit. But only recently have we really achieved any success with them in the aforementioned wild aquarium. So, seeing them in a new tank would be really cool. We did see one of them in the Halloween aquarium, the pond in a jar tank, that you'll see a little bit in this video as well. So yeah, things are looking good. Now those injections did come with scuds, of course. Some scuds from my wild aquarium and scuds from my own cultures that were originally seeded by Phillips Fishworks. We bought some scuds from them. So yeah, very good quality scuds here. I'm still hanging out with them and breeding them and stuff. It's great. So now I'm going to add some driftwood in here. This is a piece of oak, I think. It's been soaking, actually, I think this is cottonwood. Yeah. It's been soaking in the mutagen pond for a while, so who knows what might happen. And I'm also going to overfeed this tank with fish flakes. Don't do this at home, you guys. I've made a mess with the Fluval Stratum. I am overfeeding the jar, and that's because I'm adding a very special snail in here. This snail is from one of those wild aquariums and from the little stream. Yeah, the hidden stream. Yeah. So even though that snail is, he was raised in my aquariums, in my jar, the wild jar, even though he was born there, his forefathers came from a wild stream where environmental pressure was very high. The two other snails here are from my guppy aquarium. So these guys are, they have a very different background. And I'm curious to see if they will reproduce, if we'll have any interesting offspring. They could be slightly different species, different subspecies. They may not be able to breed at all. Yeah, so it's kind of fun. I like to experiment with things like this. And we'll know moving forward that this aquarium, the worm jar, was seeded with snails from a wild population and from my own population. Now we're going to add some spike rush. Yes, I am trying to mimic the Halloween jar in the way that it is just very clear and very nice. So I'm taking another plug of spike rush from one of my other very old tanks. And we're just going to put it right in here and kind of plant it down in here. Now that this does somewhat ruin my original idea of having full access to the substrate, but it's okay. I want the tank to be functional first, and then nice to look at, and then hopefully full of very large aquatic worms. You might also call them boogie worms, which they tend to do a little dance here and there. You've most likely seen them. So now we're going to look at this little 1-quart aquarium using my pool noodle lid light combo, which you guys have never seen before. But this little 1-quart jar is actually a functional green water aquarium with a few bladder snails inside and a ton of darrow worms. Darrow worms are harmless, useful little janitors that will help to consume mulm from your projects. And I can even prove these claims on some of the short videos that I've uploaded over this year. You'll see a ton of mulm be completely destroyed by a population of darrow worms. Yeah. So they are beneficial janitors, if nothing else. One of my overall themes of bucket ponds is to discover species that work for me, that work well for me, for what I need. And I'm just going to kidnap a few of them and inject them right into our new build. But that's been working really well for me. Instead of, crying when I see a weird creature in my aquarium, I celebrate and I try to learn about it, to study it, see what it might be good for, and to see how I could apply it in that direction and add yet another link to the food chain, to the ecosystems that we're building. That's what I like to do. It's actually really fun. And when it works and you build something and then you can like build upon that in your next setup, your next aquarium, and maybe you gain mastery over a certain little species of ostracods or something, and then you build on that, and you maximize what you learn, what you gain, and build on it. I think it's really cool. So there's that snail on the left. That larger snail is from the wild jar, from the hidden stream. His forefathers were wild, and they're a little bit different from my own snails. That snail on the right is from the guppy tank, and forgive the lighting switch here, but I want to show you. They're trying to breed. They're trying to breed with the wild snail. He's not trying to breed with them. So that's interesting. My guppy tank bladder snails, they are part of the breeding program. They are very, very virile. They'll breed with anything, especially a exotic foreign snail like that. So I talk a lot about drain flies here on the channel and how much I hate them. I don't show you what they look like much. This is a drain fly larva. I don't know how it got in here, but it will begin eating everything and killing everything. And once you get a few of them in your jar, it's a lost project. So we're just going to remove him. And yeah, I do try to work with all forms of life when they come to me, but drain flies have no place. Not for me. Uh, I feed them to my fish, and when they appear in a jar like this, I need a predator. I need a predator species. I need a tiny fish that will eat drainfly larvae. Something that could live in our gallon jars without the cruelty aspect that I personally fear. I don't want to throw a beta in here, something like that, even if they could technically survive. Uh, yeah. Our good friend Clay, he did send us some killifish, least killifish at one point in time. And unfortunately, I just could not keep them. I lost them, that hurricane. I don't even want to talk about it. But yeah, thank you, Clay. Thank you so much, man. I still feel horrible about it. But yeah, I'm looking for some kind of small fish that can hang out in here and help to patrol the surface of our waters and prevent drainfly larvae. When we eventually find that perfect species to fit in my ecosystems, then we won't really need lids anymore, and we can run open jars once again. It'll be a lot of fun. Until then, we are keeping the lids on these projects. In the jar, I realize it's not perfect, but sitting alongside the other two jars, the three that I've built recently, I am really happy with these projects, you guys. That center tank is my best build ever. It's perfect. The Halloween aquarium, it's amazing. I hope to capture the success that we gained there and apply it to this new build as well. The green tank on the right is a little bit different, and I'm hoping it will clear up soon, but it's kind of a work in progress. Really, everything here on the channel is a work in progress. So here are the jars today, November 2nd. They look decent, and we will see these projects again in the future. Our next video may be an update or something more fun. So thanks for watching, guys. Big thank you to my YouTube members. You guys are awesome. You mean the world to me. Thank you so much. I don't show you enough attention. I'm trying to do better. For everyone watching, thank you. I'll have another video next Sunday. Have a great night.